Good morning. I wanted to send you guys a message today and talk about the quiz. So you guys were assigned this quiz for Friday. It is talking about everything that we've gone over so far. Out of the 91 kids that are in the 3 math classes, only 69 students completed it. So for those of you that did complete it, I appreciate you. We are going to go through the questions and talk about the answers and talk about why it is the specific answers. So I'm going to make my little picture a little bit smaller. All right, and so this is the screen that your quiz should look like. So your first thing, this picture right here is a sample. It is a sample on purpose. It's to remind you of what you did in my lesson. So during our actual math lesson, it was 2 feet by 2 feet. I'm sorry, 1/2 foot by 1/2 foot. And I showed you a trick. I told you that you can use those denominators to help you out with this question. So if I'm breaking into 1/2 inch pieces, that means each side is 2 by 2. That means I can use that hint from the denominator and I can multiply. So this square, if I multiply 2 times 2, my answer is 4. It splits it into 4. But your question says, how many squares with a side length of 1/4 inch will fit into a 1-inch square? So this time I'm dividing into 1/4. So using my sample, you should have done 4 times 4 and your answer should have been 16. Now there was an issue with this question. The answer was not there at first. A student messaged me and let me know that when I was entering it, I hit the wrong button and it wasn't there. So for some reason I had typed 12. The answer should have been 16. Here's your trick with this one. Use your denominator times the denominator. As long as it's 1 for your numerator, you can do that. So it should be 4 times 4, 16. Number 2 is the same question. You should have said a side length of 1/6 by 1/6. So multiplying my denominators together, I should have 6 times 6, and my answer should be 36. That was your answer for this one. Explain how you found your answer. I accepted a lot of answers. However, I need you to use math words. So when you're doing a problem like that, this is what I want you to type. This would be the perfect way to write this answer. Okay? I split the square into 1/6 inch sides to find the number of smaller squares. I multiplied the denominators. Done. This was lesson, I think, 1.1 or 1.2. So if you need to review that lesson, go back and watch the videos. Or send me a message and we can review. Looking at this next question, you have 2 options for this question. You can draw the picture on your paper and you can draw the lines in. Absolutely. You can do multiplication. Absolutely. I prefer repeated addition. It's just my job. That's what I like to do right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 8 times. I'm going to add 3.5 by each other. So 3 times 8. What's 3 times 8? Your answer should be 24. Okay, 1/2, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves, 6 halves, 7 halves, 8 halves. 8 halves is the same as 4. So 24 plus 4 is 28. And I was very specific. I said, don't forget the label. I told you that in the question. And still some people didn't have the label. If you're looking at a question like this, and I was very clear up here, I know I was clear with the lesson and when I was reading it to you. So if you had watched my video where I read the questions to you, I said, don't forget the label, and I basically told you what to write. You should have written units squared. You also could have written square units. And I even had somebody that did that, units with a 2, and I will take that as this answer, absolutely. But from now on, if you don't have that label, it will be wrong, even if your answer is correct. I think I gave you credit today. Next, it says write a number sentence to show your thinking. The easiest way to write your number sentence is to use the formula. I told you that when you find area, and I've taught you this Monday and Tuesday, when you find area, you're going to multiply length times width. So you could have typed 8 times 3 and 1/2, and then put in your answer. 8 times 3 1/2. That is one way I would have accepted that answer. I also would have accepted 3 and 1/2 times 8. I also would have accepted, it won't let me go down to the next line. I also would have accepted 8 times 3 plus 8 times 1/2. There are a lot of different variations that I would have taken for this one. So as long as your answer was correct, as long as it made sense with what you were doing, I would have accepted it. If you wanted to write out 3 1/2 plus 3 1/2 plus 3 1/2 plus 3 1/2 8 times, that would have been right too. These down here. So these technically weren't for a point. They were, but they weren't. It was more so I knew what you need to work on. I can tell who used a calculator. When you are doing a division problem or a multiplication problem and it shows me you took 4 seconds, that means that you probably use a calculator, especially if it's a problem like this. Because even me, 38 years old, teaching math, cannot answer that question in 4 seconds. Okay? You need to actually work out the problem. On this one, some of you did really well. Again, still answering it quickly. But I can tell those of you that used a calculator for this specific problem here. Because you put a decimal. You typed in the number and you typed it in incorrectly, or maybe you typed it incorrectly and you had technically the right answer, but you put it as a decimal. I know that that is a 6th grade standard that they teach you because I taught it a little bit at the very end of 5th grade. Now, if you are a Reach kid or a Cluster kid, or if you have been taught that before, great. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm telling you, of the answers, about 90% of the people used a calculator. Now, if there are special accommodations, I understand. If you have an IEP, if there's special education services, I understand. But the reason why I put these on here was to see what I needed to teach you still. So make sure on these questions that you try. Okay? If you were using a calculator for this question, I would have been fine. But some of these just regular calculation questions, I want you to try and do them on your own without them. Okay? Here soon, your computers will be in locked mode for quizzes, which means that you won't have access to calculators, which also means that, again, I can tell because I'm going to always have a question or two that will let me know whether or not you're using them. Just be careful. Overall, I am very happy with most of the quiz scores. We had, again, of the 90 kids, only about 65, 66 of you actually complete it. Also, a couple of people said, I need help on these questions. Okay. But those of you that said you needed help, you need to jump on my question and answer sessions. Make sure you come to my videos because that's when I can give you that help. Okay? I know it's hard. I know this is a hard topic, a hard way to learn math, but I'm not a mind reader and I can't tell if you are confused unless you let me know, unless you come on my videos. So your job this week, After you check this quiz, you now know the answers. Great. It is closed, so no one's allowed to take it again unless it's a special circumstance. Okay? So as of right now, the quiz is closed. You can't edit it. So check your scores, see what you got. I'm only counting 4 points. So if you got extra points, it's because you did the bottom ones correct. And that's okay. Have a great day, and don't forget to watch the other videos. Bye, guys.